Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 205 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we've got a great show in store for you. We have an amazing remodeled house in Merriman Park that you do not want to miss.
And in the second segment today, we're going to talk about getting your home ready for winter.
Because it is coming.
It's coming.
Speaking of, it has been 2 weeks since we have been on the show.
It has been.
It seems so weird because it was Thanksgiving, and we took that week off to be with friends and family. And then last week we had the client appreciation party.
Yep, all the prep for that, and that was
whew, that was a lot. It's so funny because I felt like we spent 10 days setting up, and then Zach, how was it, like 6 hours at the max tearing everything down? That is ridiculous. It's so weird how everything comes down so fast. But you still have really well decorated inside house, don't you?
I do. Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's one of the things I like about being able to do that here is I get to live in Christmas and I get help setting, or really y'all set it up. I just provide the muscle when I need to.
It is good. He does do that. But you got some really good video, or Zach did, of what we had at the party. Let's take a look. So this one does not have its head stuck in the fence. It is a baby goat. We had baby goats in setup gyms. And they were out in the pen. Jeff donated his backyard. And they were all about to go eat some mineral. But it was really great.
It was fun. I wish we'd got more video.
We did.
Oh my gosh! But everybody came at the same time.
About 150, and it felt like they all, but 10 of them showed up. It was cooler, which was really great. It kind of kept the Christmas spirit going. I think the only thing looking back that we did not do was I always like to light that pinyon wood right before everybody gets there.
We forgot.
Still there.
Yep.
But it was really great. It was a good time, and so we're so happy everybody came. But you actually got to take a really cool outing.
I did. I went to the Dallas Zoo lights. Something that is right now. Such a great light show. We went with a small group of friends and just had a blast doing it. They have tunnels covered like that, and it was just fun. A lot of fun.
It was. You know what? I should have taken and brought pictures of Wyatt and Kelly and I at the bonfire. We made our own private bonfire, but they'll do it next time. It's always there. We'll always talk about it. It was really interesting. At the party, it seemed like everybody wanted to talk about what was happening in the market right now because it's such a confusing time. And I guess the best thing I could say was that this is the great standoff that we were going through right now.
Yeah, Chris Kelly was, I think he used that term in one of the real estate roadmaps that we get every Friday from him. I got to tell you, Chris Kelly is one of the best people I've ever worked for in terms of being able to convey information that you can use and actually make it make sense. I've worked for people before that could do that, but Chris is really great at that.
He is, and so it's just a really great explanation talking about how interest rates. People who currently have mortgages are really kind of like, oh, do I want to move or do I not want to move? And you have buyers that are kind of like, do I want to step into this market right now? But right now, it is so amazing. We are still seeing houses that hit the market and are under contract in days.
Yes.
They're not like waiving appraisals. They're not waiving their option fees. But good, clean, well-priced houses that have no greed, no froth are really moving out, and there's no competition.
We're inventory is still half of what it was at this time of year in 2019.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's we were looking at this today. There are always roughly the same number of houses sold each year. We looked at the bottom of the market going all the way back to 2007 and 8, and there were about 4.3 million houses sold across the United States. This year, I think we're projected to have like 6.1 million, which is it is definitely more, but it's I don't know. I don't know where my point was going with that.
To me, I feel like we could sell even more. I mean, there are so many large houses that are being built right now that I feel like there's a huge section of the market that are not being met with actual single-family homes. And so, what are people doing that need 24 to 2,800 square feet?
Yeah.
because right now you're competing against some of the builders who are tearing the houses down that they could have stepped into, or you're competing against an investor who wants to do a long or short term. So it's there's a lot of things still in the mix right now.
Lots of moving parts still.
So let's talk about the market, because that's what we like to do. So what we like to do here at this point, we're going to tell you about what's actually happening in Dallas County over the last 7 days, because we can't really take those large brushstrokes that we hear on the national news and apply those, to Dallas or to even a zip code. So what we're looking here is over the last 7 days, and again, let's take into consideration that we've had lots of holidays and lots of travel, and it is the slowest time of the year. We've had 32 houses that have come on the market. And then within the last 7 days, new active listings, and those could be a single family, a condo, a high rise. We've had 304. And then from that, going into an option period, meaning both the buyer and the seller have agreed to the sales price and the conditions aside from any repairs. And that has actually gone to 245 in the last 7 days.
And in the homes that actually went to a pending status, there were only 125 in Dallas County last week. There were 318 houses that sold and closed last week in MLS. And normally we compare this week over week, but since we'd been off for a couple of weeks, we didn't think that really made a lot of sense. But you'll see this slowing trend in the marketplace just because of the seasonality. And then once we get to the end of the year, we'll kind of do a year in review and show how this all shook out just over the course of the whole 365 days. Mortgage rates are down a bit. 6.36 is the 30-year conforming that we found at Optimal Blue. Optimal Blue is a website that monitors, they're not a lender, but they monitor lenders nationwide and kind of figure out what's that average market rate. I saw a really interesting thing that I wanted to add on to that today, that the spread between the Treasury yield and mortgage rates right now is about 3%, which is the largest spread that it has been since the Great Recession of 2007 and 8.
Really?
Meaning that mortgage companies are trying to eke out more profit by charging more than more, because they are they are going into a real slowdown in the mortgage industry.
Yep.
Because they depend upon those thousands and thousands of new mortgage generations every month, and they're not happening the way they were 6, 9, 12 months ago.
Well, the other thing too is I think it was a really interesting cycle that we just came out of is how many cash buyers we have. Just tons of cash, which is great. It's the exact opposite of 2008 and 9 when everybody's leveraged out of their mind and losing their houses. Yeah. So I'll take this any day of the week. One of the things that we want to point out is that when we talk about days on the market, we want to talk about how long it took it to get to closing. And if we look at the sold data, the actual average and the median, the average was 34 and the median was 18. So really, again, real estate is one of those really hypersensitive things that could be completely different from one side of the street to the next.
Yeah, and that I think in that instance of the days on market, just because of the way our MLS is not really accurate in how they report, the median makes a lot more sense to me there than that average does.
I would agree with that.
They're, a lot of times an agent may put something in that is a build job that they don't start for 6 months, and then it doesn't close for 12 months after that. And, all of a sudden you've got this one listing that's got 725 days on market, and it just skews it all.
And on the other end of it, an agent puts it in the market, they've already got it under contract, so it goes zero.
Yeah.
So that's just interesting. One of the things we also want to point out is that we can actually set up what we call a portal for anybody. And we can actually do that based on what criteria you're actually looking to. So we can do it for a current home neighborhood that you live in, or if there's an investment property you want to look into, let us know. We can set these up. They're extremely helpful. And the data actually shows up in real time, not some of the other websites that actually lag and drag and absolutely have bad data. So let's talk about this house, Jeff. Which one is it?
This is such a cool house. This is 7017 Town North Drive. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Merriman Park. Merriman Park is a really great neighborhood that was kind of post-World War II. The city of Dallas, right after World War II, extended Skillman all the way up to Northwest Highway and then extended it all the way out to Forest Lane. Merriman Park was originally a pecan grove.
Huh.
And which would make a lot of sense to me, considering where your water table is right there, and all of that that's tied to it with the lake and the White Rock Trail or White Rock Creek. But from a convenience perspective, this is really great. You jump on Northwest Highway, and within minutes you're at 75. Within a few more minutes you're at the tollway, and once you make it to that tollway, north, south, east, west, you're going to get there.
You're golden. And I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, I think that we sold 7 or 8 houses in this neighborhood within one summer. And so it is a really strong go-to. We've had really great friends that actually lived here. The funny thing is everybody that lives in Merriman Park has stayed in Merriman Park.
Yeah.
So it's a great neighborhood. It continues to be better and better. There's a Target just around the corner. But what we also want to point out is that Flagpole Hill is just around the corner from here. And this is a really great park that is 107 acres that was started in 1929. And it has just recently had an update. They have the distinction of being one of the very few parks here in Dallas that is actually set up for disabled accessibility playground, which is really great and is so needed. This is such a really interesting park. If you haven't been there, it's one of the few places that you can sled in Dallas when it snows.
Interesting. Well, that's true. Yeah, Flagpole Hill is.
It's so fun.
This park was kind of put together with about $150,000 from the Junior League, the Lake Highlands Junior League, and then the golfer Jordan Spieth chunked in quite a bit of money for that.
And then also what we want to point out, Dallas Arboretum, one of the gyms here in Dallas. This is actually happening right now. This is the 12 Days of Christmas. And as we were talking before we started the show, one of the great things about this is that you can be seen during the day, or as you can see here at night. It is a truly magical time. Really great restaurants have backfilled in this area. So whether it's the local growler that you want to go have drinks at or whatnot, this is a great time and great place to go right now. Whatnot? Yeah. What's the next one?
Sorry. Royal Thai is a really great restaurant that is located not far from the house that we're going to talk about. This is just off the corner of Lovers Lane in Greenville in Old Town Shopping Center. It has been there probably 30 years. Okay, established 1992. Look at that.
Good. I will have to say this. I can confess that I have probably eaten my body weight both in chicken pad thai and the spring rolls. It is one of my all-time favorites. And if you like curry, their Penang curry, it does not get any better.
So the home that we're going to talk about today is a really spectacular ranch home. One story, obviously. It has been renovated front to back. We walked through kind of with a critical eye, and everything was, I thought, perfect.
This house is move-in ready, and we don't really say that too often, but as you can see here, attention to detail has been paid. So a lot of the heavy lifting, whether it's the roof, the tankless hot water heater, rewiring, the new water lines, they have been done, but they've also done such a great job with inside the house, as you see here.
They really have, and this is a very typical floor plan of homes in that neighborhood. You come in, and just to your right is this living room, and then a little further on is the formal dining area. Kitchen is accessible right off of that. These rooms are really great size, and I love that fixture.
They did a good job with the fixture. So we also are going to talk about the windows have been replaced, and the plantation shutters are new. They have LED can lights throughout this house. HVAC was also redone prior to the renovation. And as you see here, this is a really great transition into the family room. The flooring on this was amazing. It's got just a bit of texture. It's not overly hand scraped, and it goes perfectly with a really clean, modern look that they finished it out with.
And this one's not been fully opened up the way a lot of those have been, but I like how they opened up the kitchen into that dining area. You've got some great bar seating there. My kitchen's somewhat like this, and everybody ends up sitting at the bar.
It doesn't matter where your kitchen is, everybody's going to end up there. This one's got a really great cooktop, as you can see there. Small oven, large oven. I love that. The detail on the tile taken all the way to the top was a great get on this one. And then also you can see that in this picture we have a beverage fridge and a built-in microwave. Custom cabinets throughout. The pantry is dead ahead right there, as you can see it. What was great is when you open it up, it has roll-out drawers as well. I love that.
And this is the laundry room that is tucked away right behind that pantry Weston was talking about. Great sized room. You've got folding space there, a lot of storage space, obviously full size stackable space. And coming around in down the hallway, is this bedroom directly across from that?
This is actually on the other side by the front door, and this is at the front of the house. And this is a really great room. This is the room that's in the middle. So you've got 1, 2, and again, they've redone the hardware, they've redone the doors as you see here, and the guy has taken excellent care of it.
He really has. This is the hall bath, quartz countertops, custom cabinetry, really cool pools, door pulls. They've really tied all of this together without making everything matchy.
And this, I hadn't seen this tile used before, and it's a smaller tile. It's got a slight relief inside of it that's a little darker, but the color palette is right. It's still gray, but it's not just too much. And then this is that we transition into the master bedroom. This is at the back of the house, and you've got 2 closets here. Great spacing. They've done an excellent job also in selecting ceiling fans. I get real picky about ceiling fans, but these are really nice because they have a sculptural wood feel to them, which I liked.
I really like that. You look out on the backyard. This has the driveway that comes around to the back of it. These owners did such an extreme renovation on it. Even the garage floor has been replaced.
And you know what else they did? They took the sheetrock down and they insulated this thing. So it has cell insulation. And then this is the master bathroom that they've done a great job. Again, that tile work, taking it all the way to the ceiling, I think that is such a design element that people overlook, and it cannot be that expensive.
I agree. Here's the patio area that's right off of the den in the back. You've got great cookout space there. You could have really great, an additional living area here. It does open to the back door with the parking hammer where you kind of back out, and then you're able to pull forward through the gate, come out to the street. I love this.
It was smart because they stamped the concrete. So again, creating texture and layers so that it doesn't just feel like it's a giveaway. There's that hammer. If you weren't quite sure what Jeff was talking about, it's a great place to back an RV, a boat into, but it's really great to back into and then pull out that gate. We were very pleasantly surprised at how large that green space was. So this is 7017 Town North Drive. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. It is built in 1958. It is 1762 square feet, priced at $675,000, which comes in right at 383 a square foot.
Which is really, it used to be $300 a foot was the new construction price, and now it's closer to $400 a foot. $380 a foot for a house that's had that level of renovation, that attention to detail is a really good value.
Absolutely. I want to say thank you so much to Susan Wheeler for allowing us to preview this home. It is amazing. One of the things we also like to let everyone know is that if there are homes that you'd like to see, whether it's this one or another one in the neighborhood, let us know and we'd be happy to make that happen.
And with that, we'll be right back. Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pew, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. It's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Hi, everybody. Welcome back to
episode 204.
205. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to episode 205 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we thought we would discuss what, winter is coming and winterize your home. Good
Yes.
Lord, it's important these days.
It really is. It really is.
I think it is so important because not too long ago, 2 Februarys ago, the entire state, almost the entire nation, got caught by that horrible freeze, and things that normally don't break it all just accelerated and went terribly bad. So this is that time when not 4,000 people are looking for a space heater,
Right.
And insulation. So let's talk about how we can get ahead of this and make our home and our house that much better.
So the number one thing that I think people need to do in preparation for the winter is if you have a chimney that you burn fire in, you really need to reach out to your chimney sweep.
That is one of those things that can cause a fire, and that is one of those things that also releases gas.
Mm-hmm.
And so those two things right there, silent killers. The other thing you do is get a carbon monoxide test and have that there beside that. But a chimney sweep is a great thing to call and have that done. They are not a ton of them, so really think ahead about getting that done. If you are one of the ones that thinks, I just burn, what are those little Duralogs?
Yeah, Duraflames. Those
actually put off a ton of sticky smoke that are problematic.
Yes, and you talked about a carbon monoxide detector, and it is incredibly important, especially if you're burning gas in your fireplace. The other important thing about carbon monoxide detectors is if you have gas heating in your home.
Yep.
Because heat exchangers, the big thing inside that gets really hot with the flame that the air blows past is called a heat exchanger. And when those crack, they can cause carbon monoxide to be allowed into your home, and you will not know it. So carbon monoxide detectors, make sure the batteries work, test them every 6 months.
Yep. And it's very interesting. So I bought one the other day for the garage because I was burning kerosene to stay warm in there. And it actually, when you hit and hold the test button, it will tell you what the highest level that it detected since the last time you pushed test.
Oh, that's interesting.
So for me, I can say, they'll give you the guidelines that tell you what's normal. But, being out there, throwing clay, it's just kind of smart to know how much is coming out.
Yeah.
And so what we also want to point out, because this was very evident 2 Februarys ago, pipes and how important it is to insulate them.
It really is. And even just from an energy efficiency perspective, if you have a pier and beam foundation home, crawl under there, insulate those pipes. It's really not that difficult to do. It will get hot water to the places that you want hot water a lot faster, and it will protect those cold pipes from too much cold under there. And as you're talking about freezing.
Yep. If you want to go one step further, one of the things that after the freeze, I lost my outdoor tankless hot water heater, is did a little research and found online that there's actually a filament that is a wire that you can wrap around metal piping and plug it into an outlet, and it actually generates a ton of heat. It kind of cycles up and cycles down. And so I have actually wrapped that entire outdoor area pipe-wise just to make sure that I don't have to spend another $3,500 the next time my water heater goes out. Not good.
Yeah, and outside pipes are just as important to insulate. Put the thermal socks over, put the foam caps over, whichever is most appropriate based on where your water spigot comes out. Detach your hoses also.
Yep, absolutely. So one of the last things we want to point out is when we talk about sprinklers and pools, because these are the things that you really don't think about, and it can be a huge problem and really expensive later on if you don't get these things addressed.
I put my sprinkler system on one of the Hive. I don't know. I mean, it's
control module.
A control. Thank you. That's control module. And the thing that I like most about it is geolocating based on where you are, and it knows if it's raining, it knows not to turn it on. If it knows that it's freezing, it knows not to turn it on. It's been a lifesaver for me.
And if you are stepping into the pool arena and haven't had a pool before, say you bought a house in the summer, this is one of those times when you need to make sure that the pool company, you maybe take care of your own chemicals, but have a pool company come out and verify that the thermostat works. Right before that freeze came, I noticed that the pool was cycling up and down and up and down as far as running.
Mm-hmm.
And the deal was that the temperature was steadily decreasing, so there's no reason for that pool to turn off. It should have been running the entire time because it was below freezing. And so I called the company and said, hey, I've got this weird sporadic pool cycle, and explained it. And they said, your thermostat is going out. We will be over there within the hour. And so they ran over and they changed it out for me. Had they not, who knows what would have happened in one of those down cycles where water was not running through the pipes at the outside by the pump.
Absolutely. And not every pool has the freeze guard built into it, especially if it hasn't been updated, let's say in the last 10 years or so.
Okay.
But if you're not going to get a freeze guard on it, just make sure that when that temperature does get down below 40 degrees, that you know how to manually turn that pump on,
right, and
have that cycle all the time. That is going to be the way to save your equipment. One of the things that a lot of people learned very quickly in that freeze was that the way to save your pool equipment is there's a plug right at the end of the pool pump that's usually black, and you can unscrew that and it will allow the water out of the pool pump, which is what will keep your pool pump and that associated piping right there from freezing up.
Interesting. I've got that valve, but I let the air out on the top of my totally different thing. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, good. We hope you found this very helpful. And again, this is one of those times when you want to really get ahead of these items before it is an onslaught, or because the weather becomes so bad that people can't get to you to help. Yeah. So with that, just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.
Wait a minute, we'll wrap that up again.
Okay, let's do that again.
So we hope you found that helpful. If there's any other information that you'd like to have or any other topics that you'd like us to talk about, please let us know. We'd be happy to make that happen.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.